So it's a beautiful sunny day here. We're going to take off from Tooradin Airport, climb up to 5,000 or 6,000 feet, short flight round Westernport Bay, come back, land at Tooradin. Why don't you come for a flight? Okay, clear prop. Make sure we're lined up on the somewhat faded centre line and gradually apply full power, and here we go. We have full power, keep the plane on the centre line, gradually lift the nose off the ground, maintain the centre line, and the aircraft will gradually fly off around about 45 knots, which is what we have there, 50 knots, let it build up to 60 knots. With two of us on board and about 3/4 full fuel tanks. We're doing very nicely there. Climb out at 60. We've got a good rate, positive rate of climb here on the panel, just over 500 feet a minute. We'll put away the flap. Check the RPM on the aircraft. We've got 5,100, 5,200 there. Good rate of climb. We'll carry on climbing straight out here.
Runway 22, time to circuit upwind on climb 1,500 for Hastings traffic.
Got a fair bit of traffic in the circuit today, but as soon as we get to 500 feet on the dial here, we'll make a gentle left turn and climb up to circuit height. Okay, we're beginning our left turn. T's and P's are all okay, pressure is okay, temperature's okay, manifold pressure.
Taxiing for runway 22, traffic Tooradin.
And carrying on our climb up here. Okay, the dynon is basically an artificial horizon which shows us climbing very nicely here at the moment. A slip ball that should keep in the middle and the bottom here. Indicated airspeed at 65 knots with a ribbon and the numbers. Altitude indicating 500-600 feet here with a ribbon as well. And then we've got a vertical speed here which is showing around about 850 feet a minute. It's a good rate of climb for a day with a temperature like this. We've got a direction gyro along the top here. Shows us our heading, and then finally on this particular one we've got set up for outside air temperature, which is 20 degrees, shows us with a density altitude of 1,300 feet, about 500 feet above the real altitude, and a true airspeed of 77 knots, which by pushing one button, by connecting it to the Garmin GPS, you can turn it into an HSI Rose. And if you have a look here, it's got the crosswind component, true airspeed, direction and speed of the wind, the crosswind XW at the bottom there, and all the other data that you need for your particular heading and track. And then just one push of the button takes you back to where you were before. Flying over what's called Westernport Bay, which is southern Victoria here, going up to an island called Phillip Island, which is famous for motorcycle Grand Prix. There's a race circuit here, but even more so for the little penguins which come up in the evening. Everybody comes and has a look at them. And over in the distance there you can see the race circuit of Phillip Island with all the white buildings and the road around. The bridge across from the mainland onto Phillip Island down here, just at the narrowest part of the bay there. I notice there's a little airfield over there as well. Of course, flying around like this spoils you rotten. The Sportstar's got a fabulous view out of it. You can see fantastically out of it. There's no high wing which comes into your field of view. So it's a bit like sitting on a magic carpet. We've got around about mid-20s Celsius. I think that's probably mid to high 70s in the old money Fahrenheit. Traffic Tooradin, Sportstar 5522 is 5 miles to the southwest. On descent through 3000, we'll be joining downwind for runway 22 Tooradin. So right now we've backed off on the throttle. Got a nearly 1,000 foot a minute descent rate. Hands off, about 70, 90 knots we got there. Coming down just nicely. 3,000 RPM, T's and P's are okay, oil temperature's at the bottom of the green. Plenty of fuel, fuel pressure's good, cylinder head temperature's alright, charging's okay. So we're all doing quite nicely coming down now through 2,500. with our GPS set to Tooradin. It's pretty hot outside right now. I would say we're probably in the mid-20s right now, and the sunshade here is keeping the sun well off, and you won't burn in the sunshine because the canopy is well tinted to block out the ultraviolet light. Got a nice blast of cool air coming through here, directed at your face. There's also cool air on your feet if you require it, and it all in all makes it very comfortable flying in the aircraft. Evektor Sportstar 5522 is joining downwind, runway 22 Tooradin. Hold the speed back to flap limiting speed. Put on one stage of flap. Trim the aircraft to hands off at around about 60 knots and begin the turn in on base leg. Traffic Tooradin Sportstar 5522 is turning left base, runway 22 Tooradin. Everything seems to be pretty comfortable, hands off, the aircraft's completely stable, no problem at all. We got a little bit too much in the way of left aileron trim, that's a bit better. I think we probably need a little bit more aileron trim there. I think my cameraman here is maybe in need of a few light breakfasts. Traffic Tooradin Sportstar 5522, turns final runway 22, full stop Tooradin. Okay, so we're coming down final on 22 at Tooradin, 55 knots on the nose, a little bit of power just to pull us over the road here. We're coming down very nicely. The piano keys have worn out a little bit on Tooradin. It's obviously a very popular runway. You can just about make out the centre line there, which is also a bit faded. Little tiger moth coming out on the taxiway to the right. A happy Sunday morning. Okay, so we're over the threshold now, throttle right back, let the aircraft come down, and then just hold the nose off the runway, hold it off, 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 until it just grazes the runway with the main wheels. Keep the nose wheel held off the runway, and then gradually let the nose wheel sink onto the runway of its own accord. Apply the brakes gently, and we're just about ready to pull off the runway here. And traffic Tooradin Sportstar 5522 is clear of runway 22 Tooradin.